Well, on the topic of appalling, the U.S. Olympians have testified before Congress. Simone Biles, Michaela Maroney, Allie Raceman, and Maggie Nichols testified about the FBI screwing the pooch. And basically, Maroney spoke to the FBI in 2015. And apparently, they did nothing with the information that they were provided until 2016. And as a result, about 70 more gymnasts were affected by Nasser. So Nasser's in jail for up to 175 years in prison. But now they want to hold the FBI accountable, saying that more could have been done sooner to take care of this.
They were negligent.
Oh yeah, completely.
I wouldn't even call it negligent. I'd call it complacent.
Complacent.
Complicit. Thank you.
Complicit.
Thank you.
Complicit.
But
in a way, it's complacent too. Yeah.
It is. But I think there's more deliberate action.
Yeah, right. Complicit is like they had a hand in.
Yeah.
You know, they're in action.
Yeah.
Had a
So
hand in.
it's like they knew and
being
they
abused, right?
knowing and allowing
Yeah.
it.
And I will say, screwing the pooch, a classic
Sorry.
Ashley blunder when talking about a certain topic. But it was heartbreaking. You know, it was like, I remember when we were talking about the whole stepping away from things. I'm like, if this is, you know, my stance when it was like, don't quit on your team. But obviously, if what was happening to Simone was and completely directly reliving what was happening because of Nasser, then obviously that's the kind of thing that you know, you can't even put into words about how horrible that is. But what's your thoughts on it as far as testifying for Congress?
I mean, I think it takes a lot of heart and a lot of guts to get up in front of people and tell them what happened and how it happened and, you know, why things should be different. I give them all the applause in the world because it does take a lot of courage to do that.
And to have to relive it.
Yeah.
I think it's you know, even though it's horrible that it happened to them, the fact that they can find sisterhood with each
It's
other.
a little hard to hear you, Tati.
Sorry, yeah.
Oh, even though it all happened to them, they can find sisterhood with each other, like in the fact, like supporting each other to do this because it is a very big thing to do. So I think that it also shows that, you know, it wasn't just one person; it was a pattern of behavior.
And the current head of the FBI, who wasn't the head of the FBI then when the investigation happened, I apologize profusely and spoke of the discipline that the offending, I guess, in this country as the accused agents.
I believe
their actions.
they're both no longer with the FBI. One of them took their retirement earlier, and the other one just got straight fired.
Yeah.
But I mean, I hope that they do something. They actually do something, and they hold.
So the question is,
accountable.
Would you guys like to see them face jail time as a result of this, or what's the appropriate response to this in terms of repercussions?
You can't undo what's already happened, though. So it's like,
No.
like if the guy had been a murderer, would they then have to suffer murder charges? I think already having your name out with this accusation is pretty humiliating, but I don't really know what you could do to make them pay for it.
Well, bless you.
They make me sick.
I mean,
That's
balls.
so
You're a father. You have almost 2 daughters. You, in essence, do have 2 daughters. As the only parent on here, especially with a daughter, what is that?
I mean, of course, I'd wanna kill those 2. Literally, like that's how I would feel. Like, you know, like it's just like you just let that happen. You let it go. Or, you know what? You couldn't have stopped what they did to her. Okay, but you could have stopped what he did to others. And you know,
There was another 70 girls.
Hopefully there's a ton of guilt sitting on and, you know, weighing on their shoulders, although I probably doubt that. I mean, I'm torn because, like I said, you know, as a parent, you know, of course, I'd want to see those two guys get, you know, the shit beat out of them. I don't know. I mean, then again, are they? Not to say anyone's life is worth less because they're not parents, but are they parents too? And then it's like, oh, what about this? What about that? Hey, I don't know what the FBI policy is on dumb shit like that. So, and what the repercussions are for it. So I can't say whether, you know, they should face jail time or not if that's not the way the procedure is supposed to be. But I do 100% believe that if these girls take a financial suit to them, they will be found guilty. I 100%. Um, do I think that the FBI or the United States government will prosecute them? Probably not.
Do you think that they will bring a civil suit against them?
I mean, I think they will, or maybe some of the, I don't know, maybe some of the less decorated ones might, but even that, that shouldn't matter. But because I'm just trying to think how, you know, I don't know if Simone Biles will want to be dragged through all that. Then again, like I said, just because you're less decorated doesn't mean you should be dragged through it versus, you know, you should relive that moment. But
Yeah.
clearly they want to prove a point.
Mhm.
But you know, they want to make sure stuff like this doesn't happen in the future, and I would do that. I heartily agree
I would
about
do a
doing stuff
civil
like that.
suit. I would definitely, because you have to think about all the costs that go into now the therapy and any sort of addictions that may result as because of this. And then on top of that, you can also put it towards, I don't know, like a fund towards, you know,
Yeah, towards the
addressing this
victims. Yeah,
exactly towards the victims, but also future victims
Yeah.
or people who experience similar situations, and you know,
Or-
use
And
it for
it's-
something good.
and instead, this guy's collecting his retirement pension, which I'm sure is pretty good from the
I'm a li-
FBI.
I'm a little upset that that is the case with one of them. Like, I mean, isn't that like
Well,
a
you
you know,
that happens a lot where they just quit or retire before.
Exa-
I mean,
exactly,
Yeah.
but it just it kind of makes me feel like they get away from, you know, the
I-
Yeah, they
consequences of their
escape
actions.
the actual punishment.
I
They-
worked at
now they
News
get to
12. The news
retire and
director did
nothing.
that. He was caught sexually harassing a married woman whose husband was the DA for the state of New Jersey.
Bad idea.
Like, you got balls.
bad
was-
ideas.
I think he was more of like, you could, after we heard what he, you know, the conversation he had with her, it was just like, I could only imagine how many times he did that to the younger new reporters. Oh, I can make your career, blah 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 blah. This woman was a grown ass woman in her like 40s who had, you know, like 3 kids, and that I think was just, he felt that he could conquer everybody. But anyway, he did the same thing. He retired. You know, well, you know, you can't fire me. I retire.
I mean, we have,
But,
you
I mean, right now, the, you know, impeachment, the new Ryan Murphy miniseries, true crime miniseries is on there, and that's all about Monica and Bill. And
I'm sorry, but the
you know.
commercials and everything related to that looks like absolute trash.
I mean,
It
it's Ryan
insults
Murphy.
my
Of course it
intelligence on
is.
every level.
Of course it is. It's Ryan Murphy. But just saying,
So
like,
dumpy.
there is a certain position that you get to in life that you can escape.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
look at what happens with. I mean, yeah. At the end of the day, you've got an entire religious institution that protects
Exactly.
child rapists, and we have. Society doesn't hold these people anywhere near as accountable as they should, and I do wonder if a civil suit can be brought against the FBI as an organization, because
Probably.
what these two pieces of shit can offer is probably very little as far as their. I mean, granted, he's probably got a fat pension, but compared to what they should be able to get in a civil suit, they don't have it. So can they go to the actual institution? I don't know. I don't know anything about the law, but I would hope that they could also bring something to the institution and get something from the FBI, something quite handsome, if that's what the direction any of them choose to go through.
If they mishandled the case, which is completely what they did, I believe
Oh,
that their
absolutely.
case holds water.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but I hope so. It sounds like it will
Yeah.
hold water, but I don't know.
What if
Assuming
it
they
was
take a civil
intentional?
case.
Like if it was intentional, you know, because like I definitely think the institution should have to pay because that way everybody gets paid out more, and also because like their supervisors and managers should have done a better job of like going over their cases or just reviewing shit, or I don't know what. You can always blame the institution. That's why they let people retire. so that they can be like, we're not associated with this asshole. But like, I wonder if they actually like were just like grossly incompetent, or they just didn't believe them. You know, like I wonder if they just really sucked at their jobs, or like they just didn't think it was
They were
real,
assholes.
or if they're like, oh, this is
Lazy.
real, we don't give a shit. You know?
Yeah.
Don't want to deal with the paperwork.
Intentional or just
She was on the phone with
Lazy.
the FBI for 2 whole hours, basically recounting the entire situation, like minute by minute. And the fact that someone can ignore that and just at the end of it say, "Is that it?"
Yeah.
it's disgusting, regardless. But you know, Simone and
That
Michaela.
as a woman having like saying that to someone and then getting that response would be, I think, terrifying, because then you realize no one is going to help you.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, from what we're told, like, you know, friends or like your own experiences, or just like, you know, like movie depictions or whatever and all that, like that's kind of the expected result, honestly. That's people don't believe women or people who make accusations, and like rape kits pile up for years and years until they're not worth anything anymore. So it like sucks to imagine, but it's totally like that's what I mean. Like I think like these guys definitely should get in trouble and everything, but like there's also like this culture of just like not believing somebody no matter how much they talk. It's like, oh, it's just some kid, or maybe she's mad because she didn't win this
Or
one
she's a slut, or
thing.
she wanted it.
Yeah, you know.
I tend to. I'm not going against any of that. I just my gut and what it seems like from the testimony is just that they did believe him, but they just didn't care, and that's it's not better or worse than not believing someone. It's just appalling.
Yeah, it's
I
a
don't know.
different route to the same
It is.
expected
Yeah.
result.
Yeah. I mean, all the respect in the world to Simone Biles, Michaela Maroney, and the other two whose names are escaping me. What are they, Ashley?
Simone Biles, Michaela Maroney, Allie Raceman, and
Allie.
Maggie Nichols.
Yes. I mean, all the respect in the world because they're stepping forward because they have the voice and the platform to do it more than anyone else.
Yeah.
Because it's in total an approximate of 100 women, girls, because there were many before them, and then way too many after them, and one is too many, and they're speaking up for them and putting themselves out there for them, and all the respect in the world to them for that.